Hi everybody, my name is Rupa, working as assistant professor in Jabril Engineering College. I am dealing the subject machines 2. For secondary plea R16, R19 batch, JNTU Kakinada. And in this topic, I am going to now explain the torque, power and rotor output and regarding the problems. So now 8th problem continuation. A 440 volts 3-phase 50 Hz 4-pole star-connected induction motor has a full load speed of 1425 RPM. The rotor has an impedance of 0.4 plus J4 ohms and the rotor stator turns ratio is 0.8. So directly they have given the rotor to stator ratio K. And a 440 volts supply voltage is given, which is 3-phase 50 Hz. And the poles are 4 and it is star connected. The speed with which the induction motor rotating is 1425 RPM and the rotor is having an impedance of 0.4 plus J4 ohms. We have to find out the full load torque, rotor current and full load rotor copper loss, power output if windage and friction losses amount to 500 watts. And we have to find out the rotor current and full load rotor copper loss. And second bit, third bit, rotor power output if windage and friction losses are given, and maximum torque and speed at which it occurs. Okay, so for this first, and given bits are remaining there are some bits, starting current and starting torque also we have to find out. So all the parameters are asked in this problem. So if you cover this problem, you can almostly cover all the topics. So first one, NS. What is NS? Synchronous speed 120 F by P. So that is equal to 120 into F is given as frequency 50 by P. P are number of poles, 4 it is given. So 120 into 50 by 4, it becomes 1500 RPM. If you want to convert it into RPS, divided by 60, you will get in RPS. Okay, and slip. Slip is what? Here we are getting NS into 1 n minus 1 by ns. So the slip will be 75 by 1500, that is equal to 0.05. and E1 is equal to, we have to convert it into per phase. Given is 3-phase EMF 440 they have given, so we have to convert into single phase. So divided by root 3 value is 1.73 value, so that becomes 254 volts per phase. Okay, so per phase we are getting 254 volts. And next, full load. What is the full load torque? Actually, you know that full load torque is 3 by 2 pi ns. Sorry, 2 pi, that's all, 2 pi ns s into E2 square R2 by R2 square plus S X2 square. That is the formula. Okay, so see here. In the full load, we have to substitute the value of full load slip. Okay, in the maximum torque, we have to substitute the slip value, maximum slip. Okay, so full load 3 by 2 pi ns. 3 by 2 pi into ns value is 25 into s into 0.05. S full load is 0.05. E2 square. E2 is nothing but, see here, or we can write simply, see here, E2 from E1 is 440. How you calculate E2 by transformation ratio K? K is given as 0.8. So E2 will be written as E1 into K. Okay, K is equal to E2 by E1, right? You know that K is equal to E2 by E1. From that, how can I write K E1? See here. K is equal to E2 by E1, right? From here, E1 is equal to K into E2 I can write. So E2 is this one. Sorry, here E1 square you have to write. E1 you have given. So E2 is equal to K into E1. E2 we have to write. Torque at full load is E2. So S into E2 square R2. So we have to write the formula for E2. E2 is equal to K into E1. Okay, so K is 0.8 and E1 is 254. So K into 0.8 into 254 whole square into R2. R2 is given as 0.4 divided by R2 square. R2 is given as 0.4 whole square plus S into X. X is given as, see here, this is R plus X. R is 0.4 and X is 4. Okay, so substitute the values. S into X. S 0.05, X is 4 whole square. So you will get 78.8 full load torque percent. Sorry, 78.87 newtons per meter full load torque. Okay, next second bit, full load torque is over. Next second bit, rotor current and full load rotor copper losses. Okay, so rotor current, I you know the formula S into E2 by R2 square plus SX2 square. So substitute all the formulas here. You can transfer it to S into K into E1. You can write E2 as K into E1. So S into K into E1 it becomes. So remaining all known terms. S into K 0.8 into E1 254 by 0.4 whole square plus S into X square. So you will get the rotor current as 22.73 amperes. Second bit in that one, you have to calculate total copper losses. So copper losses is 3IR square R. Okay, so this is the rotor current. Corresponding to rotor current, you have to find out the losses, total copper losses, 3I square R. So I square is 22.73, R is 0.4 into 3. So it becomes total copper loss is 620 watts. Okay, so that is the second bit. Second bit also over. Next, third bit, power output. If windage and friction losses amount to 500 watts, we have to find out the power output. If windage losses and friction losses are 500 watts, so power output we have to find out. See here. So what is the power output formula? 2 pi NT. Okay, 2 pi into N. N is given in RPM. We have to convert it into RPS into T, torque. Torque we have calculated 78.87. Okay, so total power output will be 1100/748. So, sorry, this is the power at the rotor, PM, power at the rotor. So now we have to subtract the windage and friction losses from the mechanical power, PM. Nothing but rotor power, PM. Okay, if you subtract those, you will get the total power output at the shaft. So total power output is equal to mechanical power minus windage and friction losses. So mechanical power you got, that means rotor power. You got 11,745. Sorry, this is not ohms, this is watts. Output of unit of power is watts. Okay, 11,745 watts. So P output is equal to PM minus windage and friction losses. Windage and friction losses are given 500. So 11,745 minus 500, 11,245. This is the power output. So this is the power output, third bit. Next, fourth bit. Maximum torque and the speed at which it occurs. Okay, so next, fourth bit, maximum torque. So for maximum torque, slip should be also maximum. What is the value of maximum slip? R2 by X2. R2 value is 0.4 and X2 value is 0.4. So it becomes 0.1. So this slip you have to substitute here in torque formula. Maximum torque is maximum slip you have to substitute, not 0.05. So maximum, if you substitute all the known values, you will get T maximum as 98.5 newtons per meter. Okay, now slips speed for maximum torque. For speed for maximum torque, you have to calculate the slip speed, nothing but. So since S is equal to 0.8, slip speed means difference. Nothing but we can write S into NS. So S into NS, NS is 0.0, S is 0.1 and NS is 1500. So 0.1 into 1500, 150 RPM. So speed for maximum torque is nothing but difference of the speed. Okay, speed is nothing but difference of the speeds, N. Okay, so NS minus 1 NS into 1 minus S into NS. So simplifying, you can write simply directly 150 value here. So 1500 minus 150, 1350 RPM. So this is the speed for maximum torque. Okay, fourth bit also over. Next, fifth bit. Starting current we have to find out. Okay, so actually current will be equal to E2 by R2 square plus X2 square. Starting current means stator current, nothing but. So in the voltage should be here in the form of stator. So for E2, I have to write K into E1. So K into E1 by 0.8 into K, E1 254 by 0.4 square plus 4 square. That becomes starting current 50.5 amperes. Okay, next. Starting current over. Next, starting torque. At starting torque, we have to find out. We already found TF full load torque and maximum torque. Now they ask starting torque. Okay, so starting torque, you know that actually the formula 3 by 2 pi ns S into E2 square R2 by R2 square plus SX2 square. But if you put S is equal to 1 in the formula, you will get the starting torque formula. So 3 by 2 pi ns, ns is 25 and S is 1, E2 square, nothing but E2 square. E2 square is K into E1 square into R2 by R2 square plus X2 square. These are all known values. So you are getting 19.5 newtons per meter. Okay, so if you see that as compared to the full load torque here, we got the full load torque as 78.87 newtons per meter, right? So this is the full load torque, 78.87 newtons per meter. But when compared to the full load torque, what is the starting torque here? 19.25, sorry, 19.5. So it is very, very low. It is much low, almost 25% of full load torque only you are getting at the time of starting. Okay, next. These are the problems. Now we will go to the power stages. So actually the motor input in stator, the motor will be given a input. So that is nothing but in the stator we are giving some input. That input is denoted by PI. Okay, so starting motor input is PI. Next, so when we are giving input to the stator, we are getting some copper losses and iron losses in the stator. So when the input is coming to the stator, the output will be minus of copper loss and iron loss, right? So if you subtract the stator copper loss and iron loss, you will get the rotor input. You will get some output which is fed to the rotor. So the power which is fed to the rotor becomes rotor's input. Okay, so the rotor input is P2. It is denoted by P2. So again the rotor is having some copper. So again the losses will be occurring in the rotor. So after getting off input to the rotor, after deleting the copper losses, the power given at the rotor is called as mechanical power developed in the rotor, or gross torque, that is called as gross torque TG. Okay, so again from the gross torque, it is having some windage and friction losses. Okay, so you are getting some windage due to the wind and due to the air, and friction losses due to the rotating parts. You are getting some losses. So if you subtract those rotor torque developed, if you subtract the losses in the torque developed gross torque, you will get the final rotor output. Okay, you will get the final rotor output. So the total power given to the rotor is called as rotor output. Nothing but that is called as BHP, brake horsepower. Okay, so these are the final power stages. And next one, this is the final chart of the power stages, what I have explained now. So actually this is the given input. So when we are getting input to the stator, from the stator copper loss and iron losses will be present. So after giving out the stator copper loss and iron loss, you are getting rotor input P2, that is called as P2. And from the rotor, you are having rotor copper loss, and the final is given as mechanical power. From the rotor copper loss, the given is mechanical power developed finally. So from that mechanical power, you have to omit windage and friction losses. You will get the final rotor output. So motor output, this one. So see here, this is stator. This is stator copper loss, P1 active power. This is the what we are giving the input to the stator. The stator dome will be looking like this. There is a handle and these are 8 ducts. So here stator copper loss, as we are making the stator with copper, we are getting here copper losses. So PCS and iron. The stator is also having iron parts. So iron losses will be present. So PF. So here this will be the rotor. This is a squirrel cage rotor which is indicated here. This rotor will be inserted into the stator. So after getting the input, the stator, after omitting the stator copper loss and iron loss, you are getting active power input to the rotor. So the input is given to the rotor. So from the rotor again we are having copper bars or copper windings. So from this copper losses will be omitted, and finally we are getting here gross mechanical power. And from this windage, due to the air and due to the rotating parts, you are getting some friction losses. Out of from gross mechanical power, you have to omit these windage and friction losses, and now we are getting shaft power. This is the final output power, BHP, brake horsepower. Okay, so these are the power stages. Next one, how much the induction motor develops. See here through formulas. Now, so the induction motor will be developing gross torque TG, that is called as TG, due to the gross rotor output PM. So gross torque is equal to, it is P2 by WS. At the time we are getting the input as P2, and it is the speed 2 pi NS. So P2 by 2 pi NS, this is in terms of RPS, rotor input, and in terms of rotor output, the gross torque will be PM by W. So PM by 2 pi N. Both NS is in RPS only for torque. So after that, the shaft torque is due to output power, P output. So which is less than PM, because of we have to omit rotor, friction and windage losses. So TSH is equal to P output by W. So TSH means the shaft torque at the rotor, final output. So P output by omega. So P output by 2 pi n. This is also in RPS. So in RPM, if you want to convert them all these three formulas in RPM, now see here. First formula, P2 by 2 pi ns by 60. If you put ns by 60, you will get in RPM. Okay, so that becomes 9.55 P2 by ns gross torque in terms of rotor input. In terms of rotor output, Pm by 2 pi n by 60. So that becomes 9.55 Pm by n in terms of rotor output. And finally shaft torque, P output by omega by 60. So 9.55 P output by n. So these are all the values in RPM and these are all the values in RPS. Okay, next torque. So what is torque, mechanical power and rotor output you will see. So see here, we know that stator input is P1. Okay, so P1 we are getting stator input. Out of that we are getting at the stator output plus losses, stator losses. Stator losses are stator copper loss and stator iron losses. Okay, so the stator output is now transferred entirely into the inductively to the rotor circuit. That means the magnetic flux is cut by the rotor circuit and total output is transferred entirely to the rotor. So at the rotor, you are getting stator output. Rotor input is nothing but you are getting stator output. Okay. So at the rotor, we are getting some output. That means rotor input minus rotor copper loss. At the rotor, you are getting rotor output. Okay. So this rotor output, what you are getting Tm, it is converted into mechanical energy, and it because as it is converting into mechanical energy, nothing but there is some rotation, so torque will be developed, that is called as gross torque Tg. Okay, so again from this gross torque we have to omit windage and friction losses, so rest will be appearing at the shaft. Final rotor shaft output, rotor shaft torque TSH. So this is TSH. Okay, so let n will be in RPS. It is the actual speed of the rotor. Okay, so Tg into 2 pi n is equal to nothing but rotor gross output in watts. Okay, so from this Tg is equal to rotor gross output in watts divided by 2 pi n. Where if there were no losses in the rotor, then output will be same equal to the rotor input. And rotor will be running at the same synchronous speed. But due to the windage and friction losses, rotor will not run at the synchronous speed. It is always behind the synchronous speed. So from this Tg can be, this is in output. Okay. So in terms of input, how can we write Tg? Tg is equal to P2 by 2 pi ns. Output Pm by 2 pi n. Output in terms of rotor output Pm by 2 pi n. In terms of rotor input P2 by 2 pi ns. Okay. Next Pm. Next the rotor gross torque, gross output is Pm is equal to nothing but from this Pm is equal to Tg into 2 pi n. And P2 is equal to Tg into 2 pi ns. Those formulas I have evaluated. So from this, the difference of two equal rotor is nothing but the difference of two P input and P output is nothing but rotor copper loss. You will get rotor copper loss. So we are getting P2 as input and we are getting Pm as output. In between there is rotor copper loss. So from the input of rotor P2, we have to minus the rotor copper loss. You will get the rotor output Pm. Okay, so nothing but the difference of two powers is nothing but rotor copper loss. So P2 minus Pm is equal to Tg into 2 pi ns minus n. So from 3 and 4 equations. So from these 3 and 4 equations, I can write rotor copper loss by rotor input is equal to ns minus n by ns. Tg into 2 pi ns will be get cancelled in both and only ns minus n by ns will be remaining. Okay, next. So from here we can calculate again rotor copper loss in terms of input. So rotor copper loss in terms of input is S into rotor rotor input. So S into rotor input means S into P2, nothing but. Also input is nothing but rotor copper loss divided by S. From here I can write P2 is equal to rotor copper loss divided by S, like here. Okay, so gross output PM is nothing but input minus rotor copper loss. We know that gross output, the rotor output is nothing but input minus rotor copper loss. So input minus what is rotor copper loss? S into P2. Input minus S into P2. Okay, so S into nothing but input, S into rotor input. So if you take out input common, 1 minus S. Okay, so P2 into 1 minus S I can write simply. PM is equal to P2 into 1 minus S. Okay, so if you divide both output by input, you will get the rotor efficiency. So output is nothing but this one, 1 minus S by 1 minus S into P2 by P2. So P2, P2 gets cancelled. We are left behind 1 minus S. So 1 minus S is nothing but N by NS. So PM by P2 is nothing but N by NS. So the rotor efficiency can be also called as N by NS. And next, if you know the formulas, you can form any type of formula you want. And next, rotor copper loss is S into P2 by rotor gross output is 1 minus S into P2. So P2, P2 gets cancelled, remaining is S by 1 minus S. So this is the important conclusion. These are the ratios of rotor with slip, rotor inputs and outputs with slip and copper losses. So P2 versus PM versus copper loss. How will it be? If P2 is 1, PM will be 1 minus S and rotor copper loss will be S. Okay, so now we will go with the example. So first example, see here, the power input to the rotor of 440 volts 50 Hz 6-pole 3-phase induction motor is 80 kilowatts, the power. The rotor electromotive force is observed to make 100 complete alternations per minute. Calculate first one, the slip and rotor speed and rotor copper loss per phase you have to calculate. Okay, so what is the speed it is making? 100 complete alterations per minute. So per minute we have to calculate 100 by 60, you will get cycles per second. Nothing but that is 10 by 6, 0.6. 10 by 6, no, not 0.6. Some value you can put directly 10 by 6. Okay, so see here. This is nothing but we are getting here 1.666, nothing but that is Hz cycles per second is nothing but frequency. So F is given nothing but F is equal to S into F. That means this is the electromotive force is observed to be, means it is the running frequency. So running frequency F is equal to S into F. From this we can find out F. So actually F will be normal voltage and FR will be running frequency. That is nothing but S into F. This is the formula. Okay. So from this we can know the F value 50 and we can know the FR value. FR value is 10 by 6. That is 1.666. Okay. So we know F value, FR value. Now we can know the slip first bit. Slip is equal to FR by F. FR is 1.666 by 50. So you will get 0.3 slip. 0.333 for accurate purpose you can use it. And second bit is rotor speed. The rotor speed is nothing but ns into 1 minus s. So ns is given as 1000 rpm. the power input. So calculate the rotor speed and rotor copper loss. So NS is given as NS. How to find out NS means it is not given. You have to find out 120. NS is 120 F by P. 120 into frequency F 50 by P. P is 6. You will get 1000 RPM. So this you have to substitute here. So NS 1000 into 1 minus S. 1 minus 0.0333. That becomes N. The rotor speed 966.67. So if you observe that NS is greater than N. Okay. Always N is below than NS. Next, last one. Rotor copper loss per phase you have to convert. So first rotor input you have to find out, and if you convert it into per phase, you can get the rotor copper loss. So actually rotor copper loss will be S into rotor input, S into P2. Okay. So per phase you have to calculate. So divided by 3. Rotor input is given as, see here, 80. Power input is 80 watts, kilowatts. So 80 kilowatts into S. 80 kilowatts into S divided by 3. This gives rotor copper losses per phase. Okay. Next problem. A 440 volts 3-phase 50 Hz 4-pole bike-connected induction motor has a full load speed of 1425 RPM. The rotor has an impedance of R and X. Calculate this. We have calculated before only. Go through once. Same problem we have calculated before only. Go through once.